Red Velvet told Pinkie that they could go out on a picnic with on 4 days, and Pinkie said actually she wanted to go out with to take a picnic with Red Velvet within 4 days because Red Velvet had to work at her family bakery for the next 4 days. And Pinkie didn't mind that. So they gave each other a hug, and then Red Velvet flew back home, and now she can feel so much relief in her heart. 4 days later, Red Velvet had arrived back to Ponyville at Sugar Cube Corner and waited for Pinkie Pie at 3 p.m. And she was so nervous now for their first date together. And especially Pinkie. She was so excited. She had never been on a date for a long time. And especially now with another mare who thinks she's beautiful and even she's funny. And Red Velvet, she could never be more happier to go out with Pinkie. But during those 4 days previous, Red Velvet spent more time with Rainbow Dash to get some more information about Pinkie, how she is as a pony, and how much more. And Rainbow Dash even told her a lot about Pinkie, at least what she knows about her, and she couldn't resist thinking about Pinkie while she was working with her parents. And even her parents was very happy that at least she had asked Pinkie out. They could be more prouder to be happy that their daughter has maybe her special song pony soon. Red Velvet was actually thinking all about this when she was waiting for Pinkie outside the Sugar Cube Corner. And when she came out, they gave each other a hug and went to the park. And at this picnic, it was nothing that she had estimated was going to happen. Pinkie told a lot about stories when she helped her to save the equestrian in several verses so many times. And Red Velvet just sit there and listen carefully to all the things she said to her. And even Red Velvet told about stories about her childhood and some about her times when she got to know Rainbow Dash, Derpy, Fluttershy. But for most of that, she even likes to be with Pinkie. And Red Velvet even told Pinkie that her father, Key Lime Whip, is also best friend with Fluttershy's and Rainbow's father since childhood. So that is the reason why they get to know each other better from when Red Velvet was growing up. They stayed in the park together almost the entire day, and Pinkie didn't mind to be there with her. And even then, Pinkie could never be more happier. And also, just before then, she actually kissed Red Velvet, and she couldn't resist to blush. She was so red in her face. Red Velvet followed Pinkie back to the Sugar Cube Corner, and they both thanked for this lovely date. For the most part of that, they gave each other a kiss, and Red Velvet flew back to Rainbow Dash home and spent the night there. Rainbow was very curious to see and hear how this date went. And Red Velvet, she was not so quiet about it. She described all the details about her day went, that her feelings for Pinkie was just stronger than ever, and that they kissed each other twice. And Rainbow, she was not surprised at that, because she said to Red Velvet that she was not surprised that Pinkie would kiss her on the first day, because Pinkie has said to Red Rainbow that she thinks that Red Velvet is a very cute mare, and she was actually happy that she told her that she liked her, even loved her. That took Red Velvet as a surprise when Rainbow told her about it. She was more stunned, but she was also at the same time happy. She had never been so happy to release dated this most beautiful and energetic mare ever. She is actually the first mare she had dated in her entire life, and she is proud to date Pinkie. Red Velvet stayed in Ponyville for the next couple of days, just to spend more time with Pinkie before she went back home to help her family in the bakery. Just before the last day before she went back home, she had asked Pinkie if she would like to go out again, and she said yes about it. So they went to this local cinema, and it was a very much happy time for them, because there was this new great comedy movie, and Pinkie and Red Velvet, they couldn't even stop laughing the entire movie. It was so great for them both. Even afterwards, after the movie was over, they took a stroll together through town, and she couldn't stop looking at Pinkie with a smile. And Pinkie, she couldn't do either, because their feelings for each other has getting stronger for the last couple of days. And then Red Velvet just asked Pinkie if she wanted to be her girlfriend. And Pinkie said, I don't know, I need some time to think. And then, just so they have walked for about almost 2 minutes, and then she said yes. That means that she didn't need so much time to think about it. They thought about this for a long time. Now that they were a couple, they just told their friends and their families about this. Pinkie's parents, they were actually not surprised of this, because they had known that their daughter liked both mares and stallions since they had dated a couple of mares before. But she never had any serious relationship with a mare before. But they were just not surprised of it, but they were just happy and supportive. Red Velvet's parents, they were kind of a little bit surprised, but at the same time also happy. For the next couple of days and weeks afterwards, Pinkie and Red Velvet saw each other so often as they could. Even Red Velvet had so much work in the family bakery. And then also, when Heartwarming Eve was approaching, Red Velvet had been asked to buy Pinkie to celebrate in Pony, and she actually said yes about it. So they celebrated the first holiday together, and it was probably the best day ever in their lives together. And even during the Grand Galloping Gala around the summertime next year, they had a very much great opportunity to be together there as well. They had so blasted with time. How much time would they even not need together to be happy? For them both, it wouldn't matter if they spent 5 minutes, 10 minutes with each other, just to be talking with each other make them happy. Even they are apart from each other for days, months, weeks, they're still missing each other, but still they write letters to each other. They constantly write letters as often as they could. And Red Velvet, she had thought about maybe settle down with Pinkie, but then the question is where to live. She knows that Pinkie could never live in Cloudsdale because she's an earth pony and not a pig sign. So They had maybe thought about maybe somewhere close to Cloudesdale and close to Pony, but they couldn't find anything that was close by, enough close from both. So they wondered where to live. They talk about maybe Ponyville, but then she had to move back. Red Valentine maybe had to flew back and forward to work, but that wouldn't even have time. But then they realized they had to come out with some solution. So they had talked about made a list to see what is good or bad for not living there so close by. So all the points turns out Ponyville was the best opportunity for both to live in. And her parents told Red Violet it doesn't matter if she will start to work at a bakery in Ponyville rather than in Cloudesdale, but she could still come back to work for them when she is most needed, and she was happy to hear from her parents. And one day, Pinkie had asked Red Violet if she wanted to meet her parent, her meet the family, and Red Violet was very happy to see them since Pinkie had met her parents once or a couple times before. But now it is time for the first time for Red Violet to meet Pinkie's family. And she was so nervous but also afraid if they would even accept her. But when they met her, when they came to Ponyville, they were actually very grateful. They could notice that Pinkie was even more happier than normal. And Red Violet didn't mind that. And they actually accepted her as future daughter-in-law. In fact, when Red Violet was in Cloudesdale the last time, she actually bought a ring, but also she visited the Wonderbolt Academy to talk to Rainbow about if she could help to make fireworks to spell "Will you marry me?" after to Pinkie. And they were actually not against this idea. They thought this was a great idea. And Rainbow thought that Pinkie and Red Violet as a married, she didn't mind that a couple actually. So the next few days, the Wonderbolt practiced about this, and then the day came, the late same evening when Red Violet had asked Pinkie out on a date, and then after they had went to the movie, they went to the park, and Rainbow was nearby to use to watch when the right signal, and when Red Violet nodded twice, that was the signal. And then she and the rest of the Wonderbolts immediately started to make this sign, to make the fireworks all over the sky. Pinkie looked up, and she was stunned to see fireworks, and she wondered why this fireworks. She never knew this was on a show or anything in the park. Then she saw the words, letters named, spelled, "Will you marry me, Pinkie?" And then she saw Red Violet was on one knee and showing a ring. And she even asked them if Pinkie wanted to be her wife. Why? Pinkie started to cry and even jumped right up in the Red Violet's hoops and said yes over and over. She was very much stunned, but even filled with so much excitement and even filled with joy. No pony had asked her out and at the same time proposed to her in this kind of show. Rainbow and the rest of the Wonderbolts saw about this from a distance, and they know the plan worked, and they were all very happy to be part of this great day. And their families and friends, they were all happy about them, especially Red Violet's parents. Now they will know that Pinkie was going to be married with their daughter. and they could never be more happier to have Pinkie as a daughter-in-law. Really. And they had even asked Twilight to perform the ceremony, which she gladly did make it. Applejack had been asked to be Pinkie's bridesmaid, and Rainbow had to be Red Violet's bridesmaid, and they even had asked Dorothy to be the ring bearer. And this wedding and the party afterwards, it was a big one. The party lasted for hours. Then they went to this honeymoon for a tropical island for 3 weeks. And this tropical island, it was the most perfect time for them to be together, just for them alone. They spent much time on the beach, exploring the town nearby, so they had this romantic dinners, even swimming in the ocean middle of the night, just in the full moon. It was the most perfect time together. And when they came home, they had been started talking about maybe one day they could start a family. But now they didn't have decided not to start a family for some time. But then, 3 years later, they both felt ready to be parents. So they had been asking Twilight for help. And Red Violet decided to be pregnant first. And Red Violet was very much happy to find out that she would be a mother to a daughter. 9 months later, Red Violet gave birth to a daughter which they named Cake Dust, and she ended up to be a pigsty like her mother. She was very much energetic like her other mother, Pinkie Pie. She was so much energetic and she even loved to bake. She spent much time with her parents to bake, and even when she would also bake with her grandparents. And when she was older enough, she started to work for her grandparents in Cloudesdale. And she really loved to work with her grandparents because they raised her also when her parents were away for some time. She was actually more happy to be with her grandparents and even to got some new friends up there. And one day, when she was about 25, she actually met another mare. She, like her mother, became a lesbian. And she was afraid that parents would even accept it. But since she found out that her parents, well, her mother was lesbian, but her other mother was bisexual, she actually was accepted both her parents and grandparents and even her friends. And she married this mare, and they both adopted 2 daughters and a son, who then lives in Cloudesdale together. And they're very much happy to be married with each other, and especially Cake Dust. She very much spends much time with her family and even to bake with them. And that's much that she really loved to make. She loves to bake with her family. 3 years after Cake Dust was born, Pinkie Pie gave birth to a son which she named Topaz Courage. But he was an earth pony, so he can never visit his grandparents without falling down from the clouds. But he was nothing different from most of the others. He was born blind, but he had help from his mothers and sister how to live life and his normal pony, and Miss Jolie even helped them in school. He also had a great passion for baking like her mothers and sister, and she always helped his mother Pinkie at Sugarcut Corner even he's blind, but he works there then, and one day he actually met Dorothy's daughter Dinky, and he hooks right on her head, and Dinky started after that love him. They started to see each other and even dated, but she didn't care if he was blind. And after some time later, when they were older, They actually got married and have 2 sons and a daughter, and even now, the 2 daughters, no, the 2 sons end up to be unicorns, and the daughter was an earth boy. And all their family was very much strong in magic, even from Dinkie's side. And also, all the love they had for each other was strong. Pinkie and Red Velvet could never be more happy to be married, especially have found a special song pony. At first, they never thought that their relationship would even work out or even last that long. But to be out for themselves, they were just happy that his relationship actually worked, and now they got married and also have 2 beautiful children. And also, to have 6 grandchildren, that was something they were not prepared, but they loved their family. They actually loved each other so much. Their feelings for each other remained strong over the next many years to come. And that's how Pinkie Pie and Red Velvet found the true love and got a big family. The end.